Namaste, friends. This is Hindu Dharma Parent-Teacher Training course. I thought it would take just about 8 lessons for the workshop to be complete, but it seems that it does require a summary lesson as well. Almost every time I stress the point that teaching any subject is an art and a science. You collect the content, make it cohesive, arrange it properly, format it as lessons. All this is fine and good. You have objectives, and the objectives are clear to you as well as to the students. But at the end of the game, if the students have not learned, because we as teachers are not able to engage them, absorb them, or make sense to them, then all the work, preparatory work for the content arrangement will be of no good use. So the science part comes where you are using various tools to give them the experience, to bring out live incidents which can enhance the understanding, give examples, use allegories, and this way you will be able to hold their attention. So this lesson today is Hindu values, traditions, festivals, and celebrations. The second part, scientific attitudes, this will be summary for the next lesson. So we'll only focus on the first part, Hindu values and traditions. And this will be done Hindu Dharma as a way of life. This is more for the practicing Hindus, if they want to be practicing Hindus. But if your students are just want to know about Hindu Dharma and get a conceptual scientific knowledge about it from psychological point of view, from the physics point of view, from the traditions point of view, that is fine too. But this particular thing is this lesson is going to explain to you, not to you. You explain to the students what is the daily routine of a Hindu. It is not a Sunday going to the temple or weekly appearance before the priest or or whoever you have, the symbol of God. It is something which is part of the daily routine. So daily life of a Hindu, what kind of disciplines they show, what kind of attitudes they have, how does a Hindu view the family? You see, how do they treat the family? How do they view the family? So how does he or she view the role and duties in their various capacities? What is considered sacred? Marriage and grihastha ashram. What are their pledges? What do they honor during the next 40, 50 years of their married life? And how do they weave in social well-being? So all of these different aspects of Hindu way of living is you try to explain to them. And it's a good idea to go through some of the stories and see how Hindus behave. Like if you are reading Ramayana, some of the portions will show you what they do. So in 2 years, 14, 15-year-old children will learn to perform if they want to. they will learn to perform Upasana, which is puja, having object in front of them on their own. They will learn the chants and they will learn their relevance. They will learn the proper procedure of ceremonies, different type of ceremonies. So it will have karma yoga, which means responsible discharge of duties, bhakti yoga, offering devotion, jnana yoga, acquisition of knowledge and wisdom. Each has its own place. Eventually, all three are part of our journey of self-realization, and that is what we always focus on. Students must have the ultimate aim in front of them. And each of it is important in its own place. Each is also linked with the varanashram, like phases of one's life. And what is the difference between Upasana and Vipassana? These days, some people say that Upasana is a Hindu ritual. They don't know what they are talking about. Vipassana is good. Upasana is the first stage of Vipassana. Upasana means offering devotion, looking at some object. It may be the symbol of Om, it may be the symbol of swastika, it may be the deity, devta, or some picture. So that is Upasana. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is Dharma. Dharma means you are focusing. Vipassana is when you go inward and in your own heart you find peace and you are trying to connect to the divine. Both are ways of connecting to the divine and getting freedom of mind, relaxation of mind. Dharma as well as dhyana. So now many people from from religions, they think that when we offer the prasad, we are actually bribing God. First of all, we don't have a concept of God. And secondly, we are not bribing. What we are doing is showing our gratitude that all these things that you have given, natural bounty has given us, that bounty, in gratitude, we offer to you first. And then we eat the same thing naturally. It is blessed. Like you see, kosher food. So is the prayer appropriate word for Upasana? Yes. Upasana, prayer is part of that. But prayer can be otherwise done without any symbol in front of us or without being in the temple. So let's see how a Hindu starts his day. So daily dharmic practices are chants. You get up in the morning, the students chant, student will learn to chant. Karagre vasate Lakshmi. In the tips of my fingers is Lakshmi, skills with which we earn wealth. Kar madhe, in the middle of the hands, we hold the scrolls or musical instruments like this. Kar madhe tu Saraswati. Kar mule, the origin and the shaker of all this karma, is the divine itself. Kar mule tu Govind. So this is a chant, Suprabhatam Kar Darshana, that every good morning you get up and you look at your own hands. So it gives you an inspiration. Destiny is in your own hand. You are going to make it happen. Survival, wealth, knowledge, all of this is in your own fist. So then there are morning prayers. Morning prayer like, Om Ganeshaya Namah, because you are starting the day. So let's not start with the doubts and obstacles. Let it be, let the whole thing go perfectly well. So, Om Ganeshaya Nama. And then Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra 4 or 5 times. Most Hindu students and children and adults do, because this is prayer for getting good eyesight. Sun gives us that too. Good speech, enlightenment, and that mostly people do. It is considered auspicious. Some people even offer, while chanting Gayatri Mantra, and the daily routine is to offer water to Sun Deva, Surya Deva. Then there are mealtime prayers where we say that this food which we are getting, we are grateful for that. So then evening and nighttime prayers. Nighttime prayer is Shanti, Om Deo Shanti Antarikshagam. So all of these are given in the textbook also, and I explained in the lessons too. So just go through them and tell them the relevant prayers. There is a prayer when you are lighting the candle. There's a prayer when you are doing groundbreaking ceremony for making a new house. Prithvi Puja, Varun Puja. All of these are specific pujas given in Atharva Veda. And people who want to learn some more prayers or chants, they can go back to those collections. Then there is specific puja. Now, the child is going to school for the first time on an auspicious day, which is they do Saraswati Puja. And usually it is on the Vasant Panchami, which is in the month of January. That is when the sessions begin. And in India, the sessions begin then. So the child is enrolled. And for the first time when the child goes, there is an Upanayan ceremony that from now onwards he'll be dedicating his life in a very disciplined way to the knowledge and acquisition of skills. Then there is Kanya Puja. Twice a year, many parts of the country, they have the brothers offer prayers to, not offer prayers, but show devotion to their sisters. Why is that done? This is a very unique thing, that a virgin girl is to be protected from all kind of evil people. So this is basically, it is respect for girls. Now you can understand the myth which is promoted in other parts of the world, that Hindus kill girls. And if it happened once, twice, thrice, that does not become the social attitude or a social tradition of killing women. So Kanya Pujan is done twice a year. It is called Durga Ashtami or Kanjika. Then there is Simant, after the 7th month in the pregnancy. When 7 months are over, it is considered that now the child, if born, will be able to survive. So it is called Simant, which means now the woman's first priority from now on will be towards the welfare of the child and not to anything else. So, Simant, that this is the one type of life is over. Now you have a different responsibility. So, celebrating life, celebrating dignity of a girl child, celebrating dignity of a woman, it is part of the daily dharmic practices. It is not making a statement or giving a lecture on that or making a theory out of that. It is done in a practical way through the chants and through the ceremonies and specific pujas. Now, holy days, festivals, ceremonies. So most of the festivals in India and Pan-Asian cultures also, they're connected with the seasonal changes. So there are 6 seasons, and every 2 months, every 2 months when the seasons change, there are festivals. Holi is related to seasons. The flowers are blossoming, everything is growing nice, the winter is over, and we are splashing colors on each other. Of course, there are other meanings to it, importance, but it is seasonal changes. Then the Uttarayan, winter solstice, that is again related to the timing when the winter is over. And then there are monsoon season, rainy season. Most of the fun-filled activities, dramas, dancing, music, ragas, they evolve around monsoon. It is such an important season in India. Then there are festivals related to legends. Something happened and there is a moral content to that story, legend. So festival is connected with that. Then there is festival related to historic events. Example is Navratri, which is 9 days of fasting, and Durga Puja. Uttarayan, Holi, and Navratri again. These are seasonal, related to season. Ram Navami, the day Ram was born. Dasara, when he killed Ravan. Diwali, when he comes back. Janamashmi, when Sri Krishna was born. And these are historic events, celebration of that. Now, Bhai Dooj, Raksha Bandhan, Guru Purnima, Shraddh, these are offering devotion or respect for different relations. So, Bhai Dooj, we are honoring our brothers. Raksha Bandhan, we tie a thread around the wrist of the brother. The brother promises protection. The girls pray for their well-being. Guru Purnima is the day where teachers are offered gratitude and loving devotion. Shraddh is in memory of the ancestors. You distribute food to the poor people. So it is, and these are, some of the, there are regional differences also. Timings are different. The New Year is celebrated in April in Punjab, but it is celebrated in January in the south because the weather is hotter there and it is colder in northern regions. So there are regional differences. You can explain all of these because India is a diverse country, and customs and nitty-gritty details of the ceremonies They differ from region to region, just as costumes from one place to another are different in the same country. But the culture is a composite culture. So, Havan and Yajna. This is a very ancient tradition, and nowadays, on very few occasions, Havan is done. One is the marriage ceremony. Havan is done, and sometimes it is done for a specific reason, to for the welfare of the entire village, providing food for the entire village, and like that. So this is the basic concept of Yajna or Havan. So the altar is fire altar is prepared, and that fire altar represents 5 elements. So the bottom one is Prithvi, earth, and then the next one is water, and then the next one is fire, and then air, and the fifth one is open, and the smoke and the fragrance goes up through the space. So this is constructing fire altars. Usually fire altars are constructed in various different ways. Square, circles, falcon shape, all kinds. What do we invoke in our prayers? And we start with Agni Deva, and we continue offering prayers to devotion, showing humility and to devas, sun, moon, even to knowledge, to the great scholars, to wind and air, and all these. There are different names, Sanskrit names, where we say that we offer you this thing, and this offering is not for me, it is for you. And the most important word is self-negation, which means we are not considering ourselves, we are considering devas and the humanity. Idam namam, not for me. This is not for me. So this is called, offerings are called ahutis, and there's no personal benefit. It's a social purpose, and it's also a way of showing that eventually nature is powerful. It is awesome, magnificent. It can be disastrous also, but it is beautiful. So procedure and ceremony significance. Fire altars are built. I explained already. What are we offering? Ahutis. What are we seeking? In terms of individual performance, we are purifying ourselves by surrendering ego. In terms of social harmony, all kind of people are invited. But there is no such thing as inequality. People from all classes come. It's an open invitation, and it brings social harmony and also well-being. Some people are not so well fed, and they are poor or deprived, and they get the all kind of clothes, sometimes clothes, and food, of course, every day. So let's go to global vision and pious aspirations. Hindu Dharma has very sublime aspirations. And Sanskrit being a very brief language, in one word a lot is said. For example, you are giving a blessing to a child or anybody, you say, Jivena Sharada Shatam. Jivain itself, when you translate it, it says, you may live. So 3 words are Jivain. And then Sharada, autumns. Shatam is 100. So you may live to see 100 autumns. So just in 3 words. Similarly, these are aspirations. You may do this. You may have good fortune. Mangalam bhavatu. Swasti bhavatu. You see, may you have health. May you have peace. May you achieve perfection. All of these are pious aspirations. See, may you. It's not that may I have, of course, but may you. Prayer is all, survey. May you. So, how this global vision and pious aspirations are tied up to avoid stress, dilemma, and mental agony. So, students may be encouraged that what are the various attitudes or mental mindsets in the mode of anger or, lust or greed or out of ego. All of these cause anguish and suffering, and we have to break that cycle. So there is a quotation I have put down. An 8th century Buddhist wrote this, that there is no vice like hatred. Hatred itself destroys not the person you hate, but you yourself. So this is mental agony. Every time you think that I hate such a person, you are torturing yourself. The hate word, you are torturing yourself. The other person may be sleeping so nicely. So these are practical kind of guidance for daily life, for building a proper mindset that the teachers are going to explain. So both the student and the teachers must reinforce the fact that in this current competitive, fast-paced lifestyle, it is not conducive to happiness. It does not let you relax mentally or physically. It builds grief over grief, frustration over frustration. So, therefore, Hindu Dharma is extremely relevant now than in the previous centuries. So, now we understand what are the Hindu values. We respect the elders, we respect the teachers, we respect, honor brothers, we honor small girls, we respect women. These are all mindsets revealed in daily practices and attitudes. And it tells us also how to act in a responsible way. Automatically you see the elders doing certain things, touching the parents' feet in the morning for blessings. This shows humility. What I am, I owe it to my parents. And then you touch the feet of the teachers. And that also shows that what I am, it's because of your teachings. So negative emotions affect mental health. And we mentioned which are the negative emotions. Students are asked to maintain a logbook. You can start making a logbook. They learn how not to worry, how not to hate, how not to. So the whole day they can set aside for every single other activity, but put a specific time to worry, to obsess, to hate, or whatever. And once you spend those 15 minutes or so, which you have set aside, say at 11:30 in the morning, this is your maybe lunch break, 12 o'clock, all that you do is just get rid of these negative thoughts by hating, worrying, eventually, and put down. Today, I was worried about this. Or today, I had hatred for such and such person. Having done that, the rest of the 23 and a half hours are free from dilemma, from anguish, and from any kind of agony. Now, there are days when you're sitting down at the appointed, pre-assigned time. Let me worry and let me hate. Somehow or other, nothing comes to mind. What are you going to write on that day? For that day, you write N-O-N-E, none. There was nobody I needed to hate. There was nothing that I needed to worry. This is self-purification. This is Hindu Dharma in practice. How to get rid of negative feelings, negativity, self-doubt, any kind of worry. So this activity will eventually become a habit. This habit will help students to live consciously and live in the moment. So freedom to be different, to allow inclusivity. This is the broader framework in which the daily routine, the occasional ceremonies, the chants, the prayers, all of those things, festivals and customs, all of them, they are, they lie in this. That it is good thing to, you have a right to know. And the duty to inquire is also a good objective. But then you have to be translating it into action. If you are unable to do that, then what's the point of knowledge and what's the point of inquiry and reasoning? So we have self-control, we have social norms, some temple visit, sometimes people go, sometimes not. Mostly people don't go to temples. Sankirtan, sometimes they have gathering together and they do the chanting together. So there's a difference between mass in the church and Sankirtan. Sankirtan is engaging yourself in the devotional aspect, and there's no other third party as a mediator. Whereas in the mass, you are listening and the priest is advising you or guiding you. Then yoga, a way of self-realization, relaxation, seeking connection with the divine. All of this is now Hindu Dharma as a way of life. It does emanate from the conceptual aspects, philosophical aspects of Hindu Dharma. So today we end this lesson here. This is probably the most important one because it touches the practical life, various aspects of life, daily life. And that way, I think for practicing Hindus, or even otherwise for others, it is a good lesson, properly taught. It will tell them that how Hindus behave, what is their mindset, where does their the aspirations come from. The next lesson will be summary. Thank you very much. I hope this will be helpful in both in your own self-realization and guiding others for the self realization. Thank you very much once again.